morning, dear friends. This morning's sermon is about being faithful, being someone that other people can trust. We live in a world where that is a very scarce commodity. Wouldn't you agree? Our text this morning is Galatians 5 verse 22. Let's pray together first. Lord, open our hearts and our minds to your word and your spirit. Amen. Yes, as I said before the prayer, it's a very scarce commodity. Just look at democratic elections, how political parties promise people the moon, the stars, and everything in between. And when they get elected in, nothing happens. Those promises fall by the wayside. Even the advertisement industry relies on selling people stuff they don't need, they don't really want. And they do it by proclaiming that the article they want you to buy is the best on the market until you buy it. Then you realize it's not that wonderful at all. The church has also, over centuries, been blamed of being not trustworthy, of preaching one thing and doing another thing. Their trustworthiness got lost through the way priests handled the pedophile scandal in the Catholic Church, for instance. Also in other churches where it happened, it usually was swept under the rug and not really talked about openly. Political parties have over centuries sought to get churches to back them because they knew in that way they could win over many people's votes. When one has lost your integrity and people don't trust you anymore, it is extremely difficult to win it back. And what is important to realize is that people believe people, not their words. Therefore, the saying, practice what you preach, is of paramount importance. If we want to dance the love dance, we need to understand how important trustworthiness is. If we want to live within the Spirit of God, we need to be trustworthy. The Barna Institute in America shows that teenagers really only believe the church very little. Why? Because they look at the adults in the church and they see that adults say one thing but live another thing. Kierkegaard tells of a story that is quite pertinent in this matter. He tells of a clown that went and warned a city, a town, of a fire that is raging and on its way, and it's going to destroy the city. And the more he shouted about it, and the more he tried to convince them, the more the people laughed and thought he's making a big joke. And in the end, the town succumbed to the fire. If we sit in church with long faces, but we say we are happy, we are full of joy, if we complain all the time about what went wrong in our lives and aren't thankful for the stuff and everything we have, how should people believe that God is gracious and merciful? If we say that Jesus accepts the sinner unconditionally, but as church we don't do it, how would the world believe what we say? In the USA there is a saying, a very old saying, when the English say Christ, they mean cotton. This actually only shows that many times people say a certain thing, but there's something behind it. There's an agenda that is not seen by others. A black student once said of his fellow Christian friends, "They love me, but they love me only in the Lord. They don't love me for the person I am. They don't love me for the culture I come from. They don't love me as a total human being. They only love me in the Lord." Many times it's the little things that happen in our lives that crosses out our trustworthiness in others. How can we become trustworthy? By living in the same way God lives. That's the only way we can become trustworthy. Lord, help us to dance the waltz of trustworthiness, not only sometimes, but always. Amen. Thank you very much. May you have a blessed day. Till tomorrow, on Pentecost Sunday. Until we meet then. Goodbye.